and try to understand their essence. So before we start Namuthunam, let's look at it, who actually created this prayer. And before we start, let's just take a scenario that let's imagine that Narendra Modi is actually walking through the door here, Donald Trump is actually going to be walking through the door here, and they're actually going to be sitting right in front of us. Can you imagine the scenario here? There'll be security guards around here, making sure that everything is proper. If Narendra Modi or Trump or Theresa May was sitting actually next to you, you would actually be feeling, let me take a selfie. And then you would actually take that photograph and it will be immortalized at your home. Like, look, I actually had a photograph with someone such so eminent. So that's like leaders, political leaders. Same thing could have happened with your superstars, movie stars, whoever you adore. Now, let's take the same scenario in heavens, Devlok. We, according to the Jain philosophy, we all know that there are different types of Devlok. First Devlok, second Devlok, third Devlok. So even if you've got an angel who is in the first Devlok, they've got superior powers than us. And then you go to second Devlok, third Devlok, and sort of say up to the 16th Devlok. Now, right, if you go right to the top, then who is the head of all the Devs? And then there's Indra Maharaj. So he is like, and they also have got a hierarchy in Devlok. So there could be some Devs who are in charge of security, the other Devs in charge of some other matters. And the person who is, the Dev who is in charge of everyone is the Indra Maharaj. So you can imagine the clout which the Indra Maharaj has. So the most superior, all powerful, there's no other Dev who can actually surpass their qualities. Now imagine Indra Maharaj is sitting on his throne and suddenly the throne shakes. People will start wondering, in Devlok there is no earthquakes, there is no natural calamities. So one thing is for sure, it's not an earthquake which has caused his throne to shake. He's then wondering that there is no other Dev who has got the power to shake my throne. Because I'm all powerful, there is not any junior Dev or nothing in Devlok can shake my throne. Then what has actually caused my throne to shake? And then he uses his Avdignan, the power of clairvoyance, and saying that what is it that is actually making my throne shake? And then Indra Maharaj realizes, in earth, there is actually birth of a Tirthankar, a future Tirthankar, a birth of a god who is going to actually take Diksha, destroy their karmas, and going to become a Tirthankar. And this pious soul is actually making my throne shake. Immediately, Indra Maharaj gets up, and what is believed in the scriptures is he gets up, bows down with his left knee up, and immediately starts reciting Namuthunam Sutra. Can you imagine the other Devs and Devis? They'll start wondering, who is this Indra Maharaj going down to? We all go down to Indra Maharaj in Devlok, and now he is someone who is so superior. So imagine if Donald Trump or Narendra Modi comes down and bows down to you. People around you will start wondering, who are you that actually people like Narendra Modi and Donald Trump and Theresa May actually bow down to you? Who are you? So it's that kind of, can you imagine that scenario? And then people realize that yes, Indra Maharaj, no matter how powerful he is, he's actually getting up off his throne and bowing down to Tirthankar Bhagwan and eulogizing the 35 attributes of Arihant Bhagwan. So this Namuthunam is essentially captures all the virtues of the Tirthankar Bhagwan, and Indra Maharaj is going to be reciting some of these virtues and the qualities of the Arihant Bhagwan. So I'll just skip this. Now, garden. So let's look at the essence of Namuthunam. If you actually went into a garden, and if you just walked around, you do not have to do any extra effort, but you'll just smell the fragrance of the flowers. If you went to Kew Gardens, just beautiful flowers, and the flowers are just giving out their essence. Automatically, you do not have to actually go near the flowers and let me start smelling. The essence, the fragrance is all around. Similarly, every word of Namuthunam is filled with profound essence. Just a single word, Namuthunam, and we'll just look at the just beginning of the prayer. Namuthunam has got profound essence. Now, obviously we don't have too many people here, but let's do a hypothetical experiment right now. Let's imagine that either there is a couple here or sort of someone superior and junior. Now let's just imagine there is a young couple standing right in front of us. And will we all agree that, say the husband feels that my wife has actually got superior qualities? Then the husband will definitely agree that yes, okay, obviously I've got some good qualities, but my wife has also got superior qualities than I have. If that's the case, will the husband readily actually bow down to the wife? There'll be some form of hesitation. There's always that some kind of hesitation that I'm actually a bit elder, or I'm a male, or if there's a child here, will the parents actually bow down to the children? The children might have superior qualities than the parents. So inherently, or even if you look at the Rajasthani or the Marwadi sects, or even if you went to Kolkata, this general custom is, if anyone is elder, you will come and actually bow down to their feet. That's a generally Indian custom. But it doesn't actually happen the other way around. Someone superior or elder bowing down to someone young. So what really sort of stops us or inhibits us is the ego. The ego suddenly then stops us saying, no, I'm a male, or I'm a female, or whatever it is, but some ego, or this is my child. Ego would actually stop us from bowing down. And then, if someone bows down through force, that's not real bowing down. So you could have a dictatorial leadership and saying, you all are going to be my subjects, you all are going to bow down to me. Is that real coming out from the heart? No. So that essentially bowing down does not happen. Even if you look at the rivers start from Himalayas and all these big mountains here, they go to all these different places, eventually they merge with the mighty ocean, the ocean. And essentially what happens is when they have to come down, they actually have to come downhill. They start upstream, but they all have to come downstream and merge with the ocean. So even that, if you look at nature, the river has to bow down before it merges with the big ocean. So the essence is actually bowing down. Even the rivers might start up high in the islands, but ocean is obviously mightier than the rivers. The ocean has it's a huge mighty ocean. So there is, even in nature you can see that one has to bow down. Namuthunam. How does it begins? Namo. It does not mean Narendra Modi, because that's another acronym for Namo. So here it's not Namo, it's actually, Namo means bowing down. And it starts with humility, Vinay. If you look at Uttaradhyan Sutra, there's a whole chapter devoted to Vinay. That humility. How do you have humility to our gurus? How do you have humility to our Tirthankas? And it's of one of the most profound essence of humility. Even in school, if the children are going to school, they need humility towards the teachers for them to imbibe any knowledge. You cannot have any arrogance that, yes, I'm actually superior than my teachers. So it starts with Vinay, and once when you let go of Vinay, Vinay leads to Vijay. So if you have Vinay, then Vijay means victory. So humility leads to victory. More. Now, the beauty of some of our prayers is that there's not a single definition of the words. Just like in English, you've got synonyms, each word would have got different meanings or different connotations. So, more. So what does more essentially stand for? More. More means like rag. I've actually got attachment to some certain things. Maya, mamatva. I've actually got a lot of intense obsession with certain things. And you actually want to get rid of this attention. Let's look at this, another very classic example. Naukar mantra. Adsat aksar in a chair. Naukar mantra na. 68 letters. If you look at Namo Aryantanam, it starts with Namo Aryantanam, Namo Siddhanam. It always starts with Namo. Namo Aryantanam, Namo Siddhanam. Why didn't Acharyas, whoever composed Namo Aryantanam, just say Namo Aryantanam, Siddhanam, Ayaryanam, Uvajanam, Loisavsanam? Why is the reason of putting Namo, 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 Namo? Essentially, Namo has got profound essence. And even if you look at Namo Arihantanam, it starts with Namo and it even ends with Nam. Namo Arihanta Nam. Namo Siddha Nam. So it starts with Nam and ends with Nam. If you count the number of letters, it's 15% of Naukar mantra is actually Namo. Just Namo Arihantanam, if you just count the number of letters. Now, before surgery, if anyone wants to go for surgery, the sugar levels need to be appropriate before you have a surgery. So the doctors will make sure their sugar levels are low. Essentially, this Namuthunam starts saying, if I want to start praising the virtues of my Lord, my ego levels actually have to come down. If I'm actually going to go and give my obeisance to Bhagwan, and if I'm going to go with a very superior heart, yes, I'm actually someone great, then that's not good. So Namuthunam essentially is saying, let me get rid of my ego. Once when I get rid of my ego, my me level, then I can actually imbibe the virtues of our Tirthankas. So the essence of Namuthunam essentially is saying, let me get rid of my ego, let me empty my vessel, totally vessel, and now I've got someone in front of me who has got far superior qualities, and then I actually want to imbibe those qualities within me. So the essence is, let me get rid of my ego. So you can see how the essence of Namuthunam is. All internet accounts require passwords. So password to meet the Lord is Namo. As you can see, Naukar mantra, in Namuthunam, it's a password. Just as gravitational force pulls everything down, similarly ego pulls the soul down. Ego is a very, very powerful thing. And even it says, like, we have this gunasthan, the stages of spiritual development. And ego is one of the last traces that even very spiritual elevated souls you could have traces of ego. Saying that, yes, I've got ego. So ego can really bring even great personalities down. So only after Namuthunam does the praise of the Lord begin. Another example, beginning telephone code for all cities is 0. Most of the places when you start any telephone code is 0. Similarly, we need zeroness or emptiness before all praises to the Lord and inside and outside. So we actually need to empty ourselves. So just give an analogy that before you start dialing any number, it's like a 0 and you start. Similarly, if I want to imbibe the virtues, I need to be 0. I need to be totally empty before I can. Now, let's look at Namuthunam. Now, let's look at these cars here. Which car is this, do you know? Aston Martin. Okay, this is a palatial house. And this is some nice jewelry. Now, if we just state this, does it have any essence? These are just like objects. Now, which words, which two letters we add to this will have profound essence? Which words will you, if you can add in front of these two letters, will make a total different scenario? Sorry? No. My. If you say, my Aston Martin, my palatial house, my jewelry, can you imagine what, first of all, if you just added these two letters here, can you imagine, like, if I just add my, it's my car. So first of all, I'll actually start feeling quite proud. I've actually got a very nice car here. And not only me, but even people outside will say, it's my car, my Aston Martin car is actually parked outside here. So not only will I start feeling great, but even the people around me will start feeling, this is my house, and people say, what a great house he's staying in, my jewelry. Just these two letters changes the total scenario. Otherwise, these are just pure objects, nouns. It's an Aston Martin. But these two letters, now it's linking me to these objects here. Now, if I just said it's my car, my house, my jewelry. So essentially, if you just said, Bhagwan has got these qualities, these qualities, these qualities, these are qualities, these are like adjectives or adverbs. How will I link myself to Bhagwan? Like Namuthunam. So Namo. If I now start putting the Namo to this, then I'm now linking myself to the prayer. Otherwise, there's pure objectives. It's like I could be an academic saying, these are the good qualities of Shamiji, these are the good qualities of certain people. So these are just pure things. But for me to link myself, get embedded within this prayer, it's Namuthunam. Now I'm bowing down, and once when I'm bowing down, then those attributes can come to me. Otherwise, how will those attributes come within me? So the Namuthunam is essentially the beginning. Now, so we have looked at the essence of Namuthunam. So the next word is Arihantanam. Now, Arihantanam, the difference between Aham and Arham, because Arham is very common. Like if you look at Shamiji's, most of the mantra japs are with Arham. Aham means ego. And if you look at Arham, is Lord, Arham. And the difference is R. Now, respected Shamiji's are very good in this mantra shastra. So, and every single letter of this has got certain powers. So if you look at it, then this is called the Bij mantra. So if you look at Va, so Va is got the seed of wind or wind or air. So you look at even our words, Pavan, one. So that's the Pavan. When we say wind, it's got the root of Va. We say Vaha Jodu. Vaha Jodu means storm. So it's got Va. It's a lot of air. If you look at Vaha Jodu, we can say
Hava. Is it Hava?
Hava. So Emapan, Havama, it's Va. So Va has got that. The root is the air, the element of air you name it. R is known as the fire, is the root of fire. So essentially what it's saying is, if I actually destroy my aham, then I actually become arham. So between arham, if I destroy my ego, the ra, if I sort of burn my ego, then I can actually become the Lord. Now let's look at this. Who is Arihantanam? Who is an Arihant? This is a marble stone. Look at this sculptor here. Through his skill, he's actually going to be carving some beautiful, and then from this skill, he's actually going to make a murti out of this pure stone here. It is purely the skill of this particular sculptor to make this murti here. So essentially, who is an Arihant? An Arihant is a person who has got a soul like us. So there's no difference between this stone and any other stones here. So Arihant was a human being, just like you and me, with a soul. But through their own efforts, they managed to get rid of their karmas, and they managed to get to this state here. So essentially, the whole process, the religion, the dharma, essentially is how can I get rid of this? So we all have got the possibility to carve out, get rid of all our this. So he's actually carved out all the things which are not required and made the nice murti here. But for us, we need to carve out all of our karmas, our negativities, and once when we carve this out, we can actually become the Arihant. So, now just we say that in fact, that's the next slide. So let's look at this next slide. Now, Arihantanam, the root of the word is Han. Han means to destroy. Now, that seems to be quite unusual that we are a Jain philosophy, Ahimsa is one of our core principles, and then to say that yes, the root of our word, Han means to destroy. So how can that be true? And it's even similar in other faiths, like say jihad, like fight the war. But what fight is it really means? External fight and external? Essentially it means, no, Arihants are souls who have actually destroyed their inner enemies. All these kashais, krodh, man, maya, lobh. So once when they've destroyed their inner enemies, then they've actually achieved the victory. Grammatically, Arihantana means plural. So essentially what it means is Arihants are souls of the past, the present and the future. Arihants are great souls who were ragi. Ragi are people with attachment and they became vitaragi, without any attachments. And from Atma to Paramatma. From Danav to Dev, and from Dev to Devadidev. This is quite an interesting concept. We would all imagine that suppose, even if you have our Guru Maharajas, suppose they pass away, then what do we say? That they've actually gone to Devlok. That's generally the perception because they've done such great deeds. Is that the ultimate objective? That, oh, I really want to get into Devlok? That essentially is not the real objective. Yes, Devlok is a far superior abode than where we are right now. Much conducive environment, lots of powers, but essentially, it's not the eventual abode which you're all aspiring for. We actually want to go transcend from Devlok to even the Siddhashila. So that's our actually objective here. So essentially that's what you want to get there. Now, so when we say Arihantanam, they destroyed their enemies. So which are some of their enemies which they've destroyed? Indriya. Most of us, when we eat food, do we just literally eat food to satisfy our energy needs? Sometimes it's that concept of taste. Ah, this is very tasty. Even though it's detrimental to our health, we'll still be eating some food. So essentially that's a weakness of ours. So sense organs. We've got eyes to see, but many of the things, youngsters and everything, do we always use our eyes for the right thing? Many people use eyes to see wrong things. Kashayas, sufferings. We have got Vedna, feelings, and Upsar, troubles. So these are some of these external enemies which we want to, even in Uvasaram Sutra, Upsarga Dur Hua. So like when we go Parshvanath Bhagwan, a deluge of rain is falling on them, but they're actually above them. That they've reached, their soul has reached to such a level that none of these external factors does affect them. So that's when they've overcome all this. Now can you imagine, just on Arihantanam, just Arihants, can you imagine how much qualities they have? Many of our sutras, our scriptures are just focused on the qualities of Arihant. And it's just mind-boggling to see that, you know, when we say that our Jainism is a religion of, in a way, infiniteness, it is quite true. Our Arihants have actually got infinite qualities. Atishais. It says that our Arihant Bhagwans have got 34 Atishais, special qualities, special powers which our human brains cannot contemplate. Let's look, I mean, I won't go through all of them, but say for example right now, it is believed that if the Tirthankar Bhagwan is sitting here and if they are giving the Dashna, then even animals can understand them. Now we will actually be surprised at how can that be possible, that understand. So they've got certain qualities, certain powers that because their soul has become purified, they have actually then attained this, the soul has achieved such purity that they can actually have got some special supernatural powers which they get. When we recite the Bhaktamar Stotra, some of these attributes of Tirthankar Bhagwans are saying that they are actually sitting under a Sinhasan, a throne. Devis are actually throwing flowers from heaven towards them. Chhatratraya, there were 3 canopies signifying that they are masters of the 3 worlds. The hellish beings, the Madhyalok and the Urdhvalok, Devlok. So they are actually the masters of the 3 worlds. There are 35 qualities of the Aryan speech. So just imagine that when Bhagwan is speaking, that there are all these qualities of Aryan speech. It's fluent, sweet. They don't have to repeat themselves. It's very crystal clear. Just a few words, you'll actually understand the entire essence of what they're trying to say. So they've got and we can see that even in leaders right now, that there could be some leaders who are very, very effective. When they speak certain things, you'll say, oh wow, what a great speech. That's actually a quality. Some people are born with that. That even right now we can see there could be many leaders, but some leaders just when they speak, it's like absolutely very, very powerful and vigorous speech. So we looked at Arihant. Now let's look at Bhagwantanam, the next word. So Namuthunam, Arihantanam, Bhagwantanam. Bhag means Ashwarai, wealth of prosperity. So one who has achieved Bhag is Bhagwant. They've achieved prosperity. Another word of Bhagwant means Bhai. Bhai means fear. So Bhai Ant, Bhagwant, Bhagwan. So Bhai ka ant hua, fear ka ant hua. Another one is Bhav. Ye mera purva bhav hai, ye bhav hai, next bhav. So mera bhav ka ant hua. Reincarnation has been ended. So essentially that's capturing the essence of who our Tirthankars are. That they have now reduced their karmas and they have now become Bhagwan. So they've ended the cycles of birth and death. So some people can impress others with their knowledge, looks, speech, nature, etc. But Bhagwan, so the essence of Bhagwan is that they're about infinite knowledge, infinite beauty, infinite punya, infinite energy, and infinite of infinite qualities. So that's actually the essence of Bhagwan. Like someone can say, oh wow, he's a great orator, they've got great looks, like when you say Ashware. But Bhagwan is the ultimate of everything. Sarvottam, the best of the best.
Beyond comparison.
So now let's look at the next one. Namuthunam, Arihantanam, Bhagwantanam, Aigaranam. Aigaranam means the beginners. Adi. Adi means to begin. Adi, the starter. Now, we believe that essentially Rishabdev was the first Tirthankar of our 24 Tirthankars. And as we all know that Rishabdev Bhagwan, that at that time, in that period, it's written in the scriptures, Assi, Masi, Krishi. He started agriculture, he started education, how to do fire, how to make everything. So he started everything. But there's a very, very big difference between what about the other Tirthankars, Ajitnath Bhagwan and all these other 24 Tirthankars. Now, the beauty of our Tirthankars are that they are the ones, like for us, if we embark on the path of spirituality, is because we've followed some scriptures, we followed our gurus. The uniqueness about our Tirthankars are that they were free spirits, free souls. They said, this is not what the world is about. They left their palaces and they went out to the forest and they realized the essence of religion by themselves. So they were like the true beginners of religion. So they understood the truth themselves, and once when they got Kevalgyan, then they preached to others. So essentially, they in a way were not following what's being laid out by others. They literally went out, searched truth for themselves, and that's one of the big aphorisms of Preksha meditation. Search truth for yourself. And because they started this, so we saying that, oh Lord, when it comes in Namuthunam, you are the ones who started this religion. You are the ones who have then given the scriptures to us, and the religion has followed essentially because of your.
That's why the first was known as Adinath.
Adinath, yes. Adinath. So Adinath, so Rishabdev or Adinath. George Bernard Shaw, in Jainism, God is never a monopoly game. Gods in Jainism show you by way of scriptures how to become like them. It's a very profound statement. For example, if I've got certain knowledge, I would like to keep it to myself. I wouldn't want to share it with others. And sometimes it's even if I want to, I might not. For example, if in my corporate world right now, if I really share it with everyone else, then someone else can take my position right now. So you always want to be a little bit more reticent. That saying, I don't want to share with others. But the thing with our Tirthankars, or even if you've got power, so many wages or battles are fought because of power. If I've got the seat of throne, and if someone else wants to take the power, would I want to readily give up my throne? No, I want to retain my power. I've got this position of power. So essentially, if we've got anything superior, it's a kind of a human psychology that I don't want to share it out with others. And that's why some of our souls, acharyas and all, they're very good, because they've got this universal compassion. So if you look at a Monopoly game, what is the essence of Monopoly game? Let me start playing Monopoly, let me start getting houses, from houses let me get hotels, and if I start getting all these things here, my objective is to make you bankrupt. So I want to get all the money right now, but essentially at the cost of you becoming bankrupt. Only if you become bankrupt, because if I have got all these hotels, you land on my hotel, I'll start getting so many how much money will I just take from you? So essentially, so that's essence of the Monopoly game, but not in religion. Bhagwan says, I have now destroyed my karmas, I have now managed to get Kevalgyan, I'm going to go to Siddhashila, but if I've got that, you all can do that, and I want to show the paths to you. So they essentially are very, very open. They do not want to say, I've actually managed to get rid of my karmas, but that's my secret. I don't want to share it. You guys can suffer, you can find out it for yourself. So that's really not the essence. The essence is, how can you do that? So, oh Lord, you started and completed your journey for self-realization, but let me start mine. Oh Lord, your past is my present. भगवान का पास्ट है, ये हमारा प्रेजेंट है. I pray that your present becomes my future. Because अभी भगवान कहाँ पे है? सिद्धशिला में है. So उसका जो present है, hopefully that becomes my future, and that's what we are praying for. Tithyaranam. This is actually a nice temple in Maharashtra. It's actually in the shape of a boat, and that's what tirtha means. What the tirtha means, it's got a lot of different connotations. Tirtha in a conventional sense means like a pilgrim place. Ye tirtha sthan hai. Tirtha also means like a bridge, or like a ford maker, or establish the fourfold sangha. Now, let's imagine that there's someone who has actually achieved self-realization, and then they destroy all their karmas, they become kevali, and they go to moksha. So that's fine. Then you actually have someone like, say, Bhagavan Mahavir was here, and then Gautam Swami was his disciple. So Gautam Swami got the teachings from Lord Mahavir, then became a Ganadhar, became like the head of all the gurus. He became the spiritual head after Lord Mahavir, and then Gautam Swami went to moksha. But they are not Tirthankars. So what is so unique about Adesha Bhagan and all these 24 Tirthankars? So if you have our Tirthankars here, they achieved self-realization, but then they had universal welfare. They actually had this essence, okay, I've achieved this, but I want everyone else actually to also destroy their karmas and achieve perfection. And they become Tirthankars. It's essentially even like a special Nam Karma. Tirthankar Nam Karma uska hai. So Tirthankar, and then they achieve moksha. So essentially when we go to temples, rather than idol worship, our Jainism is actually focused on ideal worship. We are actually going and worshipping, going and saying, okay, this is the idol, but essentially we want to get towards the ideal worship. So you have got all these great characteristics, but I want to actually imbibe those within myself. So Tirthankar is someone who has achieved, destroyed their karmas, and they are the ones who are going to enable us, and their teachings will help us to achieve moksha. Swayam Sambuddhanam. What does it mean? So in Acharam Sutra they say Asutta Muni, Sutta Amuni. Someone who is vigilant or alert and not sleeping is a Muni, and someone who is non-vigilant and careless or sleeping is not a Muni. Now, Swayam Sambuddhanam. Let's look at the beauty of knowing Gujarati or Hindi is just amazing. Swayam Sambuddhanam. Swayam, Swa. The beginning is Swa. So what does Swa mean? Self. And it's very important. आप देखें मेरा स्वरूप क्या है? The स्वरूप means मेरा, what is my रूप? Or स्वार्थी, ये स्वार्थी है. So I'm looking at my own interest. So स्वरूप, स्वार्थी. That all essentially the swa is all to do with me. And if you look at the opposite is parlok, parstri, or anything else. So it's other. So swa, so swayam. So essentially means swayam sambuddhanam. Buddh means intellect or buddhi. So Tirthankars are someone who achieved their intellect through their own efforts. Swayam, their own efforts through that. So that's essentially what it means. That they destroy their karmas, and because of that they got the self-awakening, they got the Kevalgnan, and then they are imparting the knowledge to us. So they received this through their own efforts. Swayam Sambuddhanam. There was no one instrumental in motivating the Lord to take Diksha, follow the path of self-restraint and achieve self-realization. There was no external factors, it was just themselves. Their inner voice, their conviction was the motivator for achieving Kevalgnan. Now let's look at a story. To example this of the Swayam Sambuddhanam. So there was a king, and there were a lot of prisoners. So he says, like, rather than putting them, so let's do this. I'm going to take all these prisoners of mine and banish them to the jungle. So handcuffed all the prisoners and told them, you are now going to go to the jungle, ferocious animals, and whatever fate meets you, that's your punishment. So as a king, that's what I'm trying to do. So they were banished to the jungle. They're all ferocious animals here. Your hands are tied. There's nothing they can do. However, there was one person there who then said, our hands are actually tied with handcuffs, but let me go near a stone, and through friction, he's just rubbing the handcuffs, and he actually frees himself. And once when he frees himself, what he says is, to the other prisoners, look, I managed to find this out, that by doing this, you can also free yourself from this. So he tells others, come here, there's a stone here, start rubbing your handcuffs, and you can also free yourself. And so this kind of person can be called Swayam Sambuddhanam. He himself, through his own intuition, through his own previous past knowledge, managed to get this idea that yes, although I'm in a grave situation right now, I can this, and then once when he freed himself, he then actually helped others to free. And that's what our Tirthankars are, Swayam Sambuddhanam. They broke the shackles of karma, and now they are helping us to break our shackles of our karma. Puris Uttamanam. So again, if you look, some know it, Purush. So Purush has got this connotation of male. And Uttam means best. Uttam che, sauthi uttama che, best. So now we are saying Puris Uttam. Now, before we start, we have to start believing, do you think our religion is really that kind of sexist? Oh, Purush, like it's all about male? Because it starts with male. Now, let's look at our world. If you look at a group of teenagers right now, what they will say, hey guys, let's go out for a party. So initially, guys, if you ask a guys to a 3-year-old, they'll say guys means cows. But eventually, if there's a group of teenagers, guys essentially meant boys. Hey, group of boys, let's go out. But eventually, that terminology is even extended to girls also. So if you even have a group of 5-6 girls, and if they want to go out, they'll say, hey guys, let's go out. So the term guys does not essentially mean that it's just to refer to male. It's essentially all-encompassing, saying it's male or females. So Purush essentially doesn't mean that, yes, you are the greatest amongst men. Essentially, you are the best amongst the humans. So Purush, although the word is there, but the connotation is much more broader. And then we say, our Lord is Puris Uttamanam. So when you look at a tree, we'll say, what a magnificent tree. What beautiful flowers. But in a sense, beneath the tree, there's all these qualities here. So when we say about Tirthankar, what a great our lords are. Sometimes it's the outward appearances. Oh, they've got this much power, our lords. But what is the essence? The essence of the Tirthankars are much more deeper. These are the essence. And that's what you want to say. That's why you're saying you're Uttam. Not only just your outward appearance, and just because you've got some supernatural powers, but in essence, that at the core of you, all the minor, your emotions and everything are such so minute and such so great that that's the reason why you're worthy of adoration. Again, when we say humans have got this tendency of comparison, if you bought something from Primark, a store over here, then that's got less quality. But if you bought something from Hollister or one of these others, then it's got slightly superior quality. Or if you ask some children, my mummy is the best, my daddy is the best. And in America or in other places, there's this tendency of, this is the largest bridge, this is the strongest bridge, this is the tallest building. So similarly, here we are trying to say that Puris Uttamanam, amongst all the people here, oh Lord, you are the best. And you're giving that superlative example that you are Puris Uttam. In the interest of time, I will not go through this slide here, but it's already trying to suggest that what are some of those qualities which is making us feel that, oh Lord, you are one of the best. You're benefactor to all, respectful for all. Purisa Sihanam. So, Si has this connotation of lion. And as soon as you, so like a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if I saw a lion, the lion already gives you the image. The king of the jungle, absolutely brave. And so that's one of the reasons why we are comparing our lords to the lion. Lion is never afraid. It's never afraid of calamities, problems, and always bears them without any assistance. And therefore it's like we are saying you're fearless like a lion among men. That our Lord, when they went into the jungle, they had no qualms. Kya hoga? How will I survive? What will I do? They were literally brave souls. And indeed, even in this day and age, just many of our monks and nuns are literally, they just literally on the mercy of nature. When they want to do such tap and many other things, they're literally brave souls that some of us can't even understand or contemplate. Purisavara Pundariyanam. So, amongst men, you are like a lotus. Lotus is a very beautiful flower, and it's got a lot of analogies within the Jain scriptures and even the Buddhist scriptures. And in essence, why is lotus very, very prominent? Because it signifies that lotus is in muddied water. Kada ke pani mein, a lotus is there. So a beautiful flower, but right in the midst of very dirty, polluted water. And the lotus will never get tainted. So even if you put some water, this muddied water over it, it will just come down. And the reason is because it's got a layer of oil surrounding the flower. So that because there is an oil around the lotus flower, it's never, because as you know, if you had oil here and you put water, the water will just literally seep through. So because it's got that layer of oil, in spite of being in this muddied water, it retains its purity and its beauty. So it says, Lord, you are in the sansar, you are in the midst of all these problems over here, but you have purified yourself to such an extent that you are indeed like Puriswara Pundariyanam. And how is that? If you look at a cricket match right now, some of us, IPL is going to be starting in 2 weeks' time. And depending on which teams you're going to be supporting, if they made a 6, you'll say, yes, my team made the 6, short of 6. But look at the umpire. Will the umpire ever start jumping up and down on the pitch saying, yes, great, this team has actually made a 6? The umpire is always neutral. No matter which team makes the 6 or anything, he is there with neutrality. And that's where we are saying, oh Lord, you are Purush, you are almost like that umpire. You're observing all the things in nature, but you're in state of absolute samta bhav. Look at us, we are staying in society, so much problems right now. Crime, you could have depression, and all these things within the society, but and that's just like the muddied water. And yet, in all these negativities, there are some beautiful, rare souls and gems who actually outshine, and they're very pure. So, Puriswara Pundariyanam. So the next one is Purisavara Gandha Hathinam. Now, Hindi proverb, Hathi chale bazar, putte bhoke hazar. In India, I think the time is running short, so I might show a short clip. So there, an elephant going through the villages right now. That's actually my son, so we were actually in there. The villager is feeding him something, and then the elephant is blessing the person. So he's going to the town, you give him some money or you give him some food to the elephant, and then the elephant will start blessing you. So he goes through the streets. And then just blesses them. So what is this? An elephant is such a strong, mighty animal, but it's majestic, graceful. And a dog, very small, and what the dog does, barks. It's literally barking through. So our lords are majestic, are graceful. And if you even went to the Nishtan Mandir, so Mr. Mandir mein, if you look at on the top, there are all these elephants. And sometimes once when you went there, we asked one of the sons that why do you have actually elephants? He says elephants are signifying that all the temples in the past have been created because the elephants have been carrying all the wood and everything, and the temples have been built through the efforts of the elephant. And even same in the Jain temples. If you look at Delwara and all this, they're on the high top mountains. The elephants have carried all these things, and the temples have been built through their effort. Gandha Hathinam, in scriptures it says that there is that elephant which has got Gandha Hathinam. So it's got a very nice smell coming through. So there's some mythological elephant maybe in the past which was obviously majestic, but even the smell coming out of the elephant was just absolutely aromatic. So it's that kind of attractive personality, like very majestic, and so, oh Lord, comparing yourself, you are majestic, you are great, and even just the presence. So like if you have some very spiritual leader, people around here, if they do nothing, you feel attracted and sitting next to them. Just the aroma and then the personality is like you actually want to attract. Even in Palitana, one of the poles is called Hathini pole. So one of the gates is actually called Hathini pole. Oops. So now, all these words were like Purush. So we are saying that the Lord was the best amongst the humans, the human species here. So now the next few words are going not from Purush, it's going now from Purush to Lok. And we'll see now the next adjectives. Even if you look at the Jain universe, it's in the shape of a kind of a human body. And so we are now saying that from the Purush, we are saying that you are and Purush, and when we say in the Jain cosmology, we are in the Madhya Lok, we are in the middle part of the universe here. So we are saying that, okay, so you are Purisuttamanam, Purisasihanam, Purisvar Pundariyanam, you are the best amongst these people in this Purush, in the middle world here. But now we are going from this Purush to Lok. We are going for the entire Lok, the bottom part, the middle, and the heavenly angels. So now the whole focus and essence is now changing from Purush to Lok. Lokuttamanam. So Lok Uttam. So the first one was Purisuttamanam. So you are the best amongst the Purush, but now note that now you are the Lokuttamanam. So in the entire Lok, you are the Uttam, you are the best. And essentially, we have got people, and you can have, within our society, you can have people who are extremely wild, extremely cruel, and you can then go to absolute gems. And obviously, sometimes when you say who is worthy of your adoration, so people will say, oh, Bill Gates, I really want to aspire to become like Bill Gates. I want to become like Ambani, the wealth. You can want to become like some actors and actresses. And the focus of us through spirituality is to change the balance. And there's Hasubai and myself with Acharya Mashraman when we're there. So our essence is essentially to focus our liking and people who inspire us from here towards this. That how can we get this inspiration from spiritual people? Even if you look at Uttam, if you look at this Bahubali Murti, this person is actually blocking the view, but what you have here is a tiger and a cow, both drinking milk from the same pot. So when the Lord has become Uttam, the best, then there is no fear. Essentially, they are drinking milk from the same bowl. And that's signifying that what compassion the Lord has. Logan Nahanam. So Lokta Nath hai. Nath. We are bowing down to the Lord of the three worlds. There is a beautiful story of Shrenik Maharaj, and again, in the interest of time, I will not narrate the story. But in essence, what happened to Shrenik Maharaj? He then realized that he was under the illusion that I've got all this wealth here. His mother gave him a very protected and sheltered life, and Shrenik Maharaj when people from Nepal came to sell some very expensive blankets, no one could in the kingdom could buy. Not even Shrenik Maharaj could buy the blankets, but Charlie Brother's mom could just say, oh yeah, that's petty cash for me. Let me just buy these blankets, and then use those blankets as bathroom mats, literally to wipe that. And then when the King Shrenik found out that who is this family, that they, first of all, no one can buy these things, and even after you buying these things, they're actually using this as like bathroom mats. Like, which is this family? So the king says, I want to actually come and see this family here. So now Charlie Brother's mom is actually getting a little bit concerned, that telling his son that the king is actually come to meet you. And Charlie Brother says, King, mera nath hai? There's someone above me? I thought there's no one above my head. I thought I was the absolute. And the mom then says, no, son, you've never known that there's actually a king in this kingdom here, and he's actually come here. So please do come back from your where you're staying from your story. You'll have to come down and greet the king. And that's when he realized, mera nath hai? I cannot have someone nath above my head. And through this inspiration, he says, no, I will not accept him as my leader. If I want to have a nath, he then takes diksha and then takes the shelter of and this. So that was his trigger. So saying, mera koi nath hai, mera koi nath nahi chahiye. If I want the nath, I want to have a spiritual nath. So that was the trigger. So lok ka nath hai. So when you saying, hey, oh Lord, ab lok ka nath hai. Loka hi anam. Lok ka hit karna hai. So benefactor. So they have got compassion for the entire lok ka hit. In essence, in our scriptures we say, apne 7 lakh kare che. So even in our prayers we say, 7 lakh prithvi ka hai, 7 lakh up ka hai, 7 lakh tevu ka hai. If I have done any harm towards 1 sense beings, 2 sense beings, 3 sense beings, 4 sense beings, so through their teachings we have got the hit. We actually we are concerned about the entire, and that's one of the reasons why Jainism is supposed to be kind of one of the environmental friendly religions, because we have got concern for all living beings, right from microscopic 1 sense beings to the 5 sense beings. Did Lord Mahavir ever cry in his life? Just once. And he only cried once. Sangam Dev was giving him lots of tortures. And after 6 months of torture, Sangam Dev himself became tired and decided, like, that's it. I can't give any more. This person is very, very calm, stable. I cannot give any he's not infected. After 6 months, he decides to go back to his Devlok, and Bhagwan Mahavir, through his knowledge, says, I actually feel sorry for him because he's committed such great karmas. For me, it's not affected me. But he's committed such great that when he goes back to Devlok, other devs will actually start harassing him and punishing him. Why did he do this? And just feeling very, very sorry for him, tears roll down his eyes. Loga Pai Vanam. Pai means like a lamp in the universe. You're a fountain of knowledge. So, again, Lord's website is, this is kind of a joke, it's not quite true, but for us, our Lord has got Keval Gnan, and therefore we have got utmost faith in the Lord's teachings. Okay, Logo Pajogaranam. Illuminators in the universe. So let me give a quick, anyone says, what's Narendra Modi's formula? IT plus IT is equal to IT. Anyone can know what does this mean? IT plus IT is equal to IT. Okay.
Income tax.
Income tax now. Information technology plus Indian talent is equal to India tomorrow. So that's his formula. Information technology plus Indian talent is equal to India tomorrow. So that's Narendra Modi's formula. Now how does that relate to us? Indian information technology. Our Bhagwan has got infinite knowledge. So he's IT for us, he's like Google for us. No matter, our Lord has got absolute knowledge, infinite knowledge. Our Shastra, everything is there. That's information technology. Indian talent is Guru Gautam Swami. So his disciple is that Indian talent. So Bhagwan Mahavir gave all the preachings, Gautam Swami and all the other Ganadhars compiled all these teachings, put them into our Agams, our Shastras, and India tomorrow is what we are right now. And not even now, but even for future generations. These Agams which are coming to us is because of this. So combination of information technology, Lord Mahavir, Indian talent which is the Ganadhars, our Acharyas, all this knowledge is then coming, and then it's equal to India tomorrow, which means that religion is there right now and is going to progress into the future. Other example is in electricity. You can have different sources of electricity. You can have nuclear power, you can have wind energy, you can have hydroelectric power. But in essence, without the sun, you cannot have anything. If there was just no sun, none of these other energies can it's going to be effective. So essentially, solar power is essentially the essence. Again, in the interest of time, we don't have, but it is believed that Lord Mahavir just gave 3 words to his Ganadhars: Upne eva, Vigne eva, Nedhu eva. He just recited those 3 words to his Gautam Swami, and based on these 3 words, they contemplated on this, and all of our Agams are based out of just these 3 words. Can you imagine how much knowledge they must have processed, thought about it, and just out of these 3 words, just 3 core. So can you imagine the illuminators, that how much wealth of knowledge is there in just even in small essence, our Agams are based out of these 3. Abhay Dayanam. Again, Abhay Dayanam. So Abhay means fearlessness, and you are a provider of fearlessness. Fear could be of many things, illness. Now let's take an example. There was a king, and he told his farmers, for 1 month, I'm going to give you as much grass as you want, as much food as you want, and you feed your goat as much as you want. And after 1 month, I want to see that which goat has not gained weight. But don't worry about any food. I'll be providing you everything possible. But I want to see, come back after 1 month, and what's going to be unique to see is there going to be any single farmer who will then say that my goat has not increased, my weight of my goat has not increased. And after 1 month, one person did come and saying, look, weigh my goat, and the weight did not increase. And the king was a bit surprised that in spite of giving all these things, how come what did you do to this goat? Why did the weight not increase? And he says, O king, what I did was, there was all this food here, but just next to the grass and everything, I kept 1 stick next to it. So the goat was always looking at that stick and fearing that this stick I'm going to be hit with this stick. Out of that fear, because the grass was there, but the fear was much more that I'm going to be hit with this stick here, so the goat's weight did not increase. So essentially that's what it means, that fear can actually eat us right now. So even right now, we all know that in fear, we really can't function. Fear is like 0. Multiply any number by 0 and you get something. No matter how much money you got, how much numbers you've got, you put a 0 and you multiply 0 by any number, you always get a 0. So no matter what we have, you might have all the wealth, you might have everything, but if you have got fear of something, then everything is nullified, everything becomes 0. So how does Lord make us fearless? Again, universal welfare. So it is said that many times our acharyas and gurus, they go to the jungles and they go and meditate. So it makes us wonder, aren't they afraid of snakes and lions? And the essence is that how do they actually survive that? What's their mentality? And one of the reasons could be they have such a strong conviction of universal welfare, and secondly also they believe, "Maine kuch aapka harm nahi kiya, so you are not going to do any harm to me." So if I have not done any harm towards this lion or this snake here, the snake has got no power, or the lion has got no power to harm me. So it's that compassion that I've got no harm towards you, but even because I've got no harm towards you or no ill feelings towards you, the other person will have no ill feelings towards me. Obviously, there could be some karmic effect in the past, which they could bear consequences, but their conviction is so strong that they have got this no fear. Okay, nothing in this world is going to affect me, because if I've done something wrong, then only something is affect me. Otherwise, there's no other power in the world which can affect me. And it's that fearlessness which then they want to pass on to everyone. Again, as I said, yeah, that's the same picture here. And that's that fearlessness. Under the Bahubali ka murti hai in Maharashtra state, and again, as you can see, that they're all drinking. So under this, both the tiger and then the cow have got no fear. I'm under the shelter of the Lord. Chakhu dayanam. Chakhu means, I can say eyes. And it's very, again, so if you know Hindi or Gujarati, chakshu, chashma. It all to do with eyes. So essentially it means, so the connotation is outer vision. But the whole essence of Chakhu Dhyana means inner vision. When will I see and perceive and with Samyak Darshan? The essence of Preksha meditation, which Dinesh just did before we started this, Pra-iksha, Preksha, Pra-iksha. Pra means profound and Iksha means to see, to perceive. Preksha, that's what Preksha means. And see does not mean external vision, and careful concentration on subtle consciousness by mental insight. It's very important, this. So when I actually go to work and when I'm traveling the tube, many times I see many of the ladies, they take up their makeup set and they're literally doing their makeup on the tube just before going to work. So essentially, they're looking at themselves and they want to beautify their body. If you look at our gurus, what they tend to do, again they'll be sitting there or in the train very quietly and they are literally closing their eyes, so they don't have a mirror to look at themselves. They're closing their eyes, but they're looking at them internally. And they want to purify their internal. Okay, my emotions, how can I purify myself? So the whole idea is, how can I focus away, Chakhu Dhyanam, away from the body, and how can I start focusing over the soul? Magga Dhyanam. 5-10 minutes, is it okay? Or, yeah? If you want to leave, then please, yeah, feel free. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Magga Dhyanam. Magga means mark and the path. Now, again, look at the sequence of this. Before Magga Dhyanam were 2 words. Abhay Dhyanam, and then Chakhu Dhyanam, and then Mark. If you imagine someone in the NASA wants to go to Mars. So before you want to go to embark on a journey to Mars, first of all you have to have fearlessness. Okay, who from this crowd here wants to go to Mars? So if you volunteer, first of all you need to have no fear. Yes, if I've got no fear, then only I can enroll myself on a mission to Mars. Once when I have got Abhay Dhyanam, then what do you say? Chakhu Dhyanam. Okay, now how will I go? What's the route? What's the path? How are we going to go from here to Mars? What's going to be the path? So journey, because you're going to be going there. So it's even this is strategically placed. So once when you got fearlessness, then you got the what you can see, how you're going to go there, and then you got the path. Magga Dhyanam. Oh Lord, you are now showing us the path. Show me the path to salvation. Sharana Dhyanam. So, even when we recite the Manglik, Chattari Sharanam, Aryante Sharanam, Sharanam means you are provider of protection. So you are the ones who provide. Nothing else can provide this protection to me. When you are a child, we think, my parents are providing protection to me. When you are married, you think my spouses are providing protection to one another. You go to the doctor doctor is going to provide protection to me. I've got illnesses, doctor. Lawyer, if you are a lawyer in the court of law, the lawyer is going to provide protection towards you. But oh Lord, you are the protector of cycle of birth and death. You are my ultimate protector. These are all temporary, but these are my ultimate protector. Tui Mata, Tui Pita. Oh Lord, you are giving that thing, Sharan, you are everything to me. And a very simple example here, this lady is grinding, and the seeds inside here are going to get totally crushed. Can you imagine if there are some seeds right on the top here? And if she's turning, those seeds, are they ever going to get crushed? They're literally bopping up and down, but they're just on the top here because she's rotating it. So, hey Bhagwan, aapka sharan milta hai with this stick, then I will not get crushed. I'll just revolve all around you here. I will not fall inside this hole and get crushed. So, Bhagwan ka jab sharan milta hai, then those seeds, even though she's turning it up and down, those seeds will just keep on going up and down, but they will not get crushed because they're just around that the spindle. Bohi Dhyanam. So Bohi means buddhi, and you're a provider of intellect. Again, Raja Kumar Pal, hum aarti jab karte hain, Artikari Raja Kumar Pade. Oh Lord, if I had the choice between the sovereignty of the entire universe at the expense of your religion, being a pauper, or being a pauper with your devotion deep down in my heart, I would choose. And Kumar Pal says, I'll relinquish my entire empire. I don't mind being a poor, but I would like to get your shelter. Again, what is the most generic blessings many Jain saints give? Dharma labh. So when you're going to go for Ashivad, then they say Dharma labh. So they're not saying, may you get the right intellect, may you prosper. Dhamma Dhyanam. Dharma Dhyanam. धर्म तो मिला है हमको, but धर्म, and then with this eyes, then how can we actually imbibe that in ourselves? So dharma essentially has got lots of different meanings. Dharma means religion. Dharma means true nature of anything. पानी का धर्म क्या है? पानी शांत है. Fire का धर्म क्या है? Fire is to burn. So dharma means the true nature of anything. धम्म देश यानम. भगवान देशना देते हैं. So again, भगवान की देशना. And again, what it means is, oh भगवान, ये मेरा hardware है. This is my like human body, which is the hardware, but it's through your preachings, which is the software, which is actually going to make me the art of living. आपका देशना से I will be able to get rid of my karmas and elevate myself spiritually. So essentially, the deshnas are very important. भगवान की speech. Dhamma Nayak Ganam. Again, Narendra Modi, an able leader, then you have a stable government. So for us, hey Prabhu, Dharma Nayak Ganam, you are leaders of the religion. हमारा जब तीर्थंकर भगवान है, absolutely stable है, हमको उसका full faith है, then there is no problems. We have got no issues in life. Lord, and that's the reason why when we even said Osagram Sutra, we sing Bhave Bhave Pasajina Chanda. We are saying that, oh Lord, once when I got full faith in you, you are now the आपका जो शासन है, आपका जो भी आगम में लिखा है, शास्त्र में लिखा है, I've got such firm conviction that now, not only in this life here, but for all future lives, may I still get this, because now I've found the true path, and I really want you as my leader for all my other future lives until I get liberation. Again, another example. Amongst all the stones here, oh Lord, we've now been so fortunate enough to find a diamond. So your true words. Dhamma Sarahinam. Dharma ka sar means sarthi. And if you look at this, sarthi ka two meanings there. When you have someone who is a charioteer, to control the horse, ashrav. So what it means is, we want to control our karmas, ashrav and samvar. We want to control our karmas, and then sometimes when you want the horse to go forward, you let loose. Then keep moving the chariot, nirjara. Humka karma ka nirjara karne ka hai. So that's kind of the example here. Again, I visited, this is like, the classic example is that Bhagwan ke sarthi bolta hai, charioteer hai. A very classic example is that Chanda Koshik snake tha. Lord actually went to Chanda Koshik snake. Chanda Koshik snake did not go to Bhagwan Mahavir and saying, please redeem me. Bhagwan Mahavir actually was walking through the forest. People told him that if you go to that snake, it's a very venomous snake. Do not go there. The snake will actually is very harmful, and everyone who's gone to the forest is getting killed. But Bhagwan says, no. He goes out of his own willingness and saying, no, mere ko usko. And what does Bhagwan Mahavir, when he sees this snake, says, buj, and says, yeah, buja. So like essentially awaken, think, contemplate. Okay, why are you having all this anger here? And in fact, I actually went to the same location, like in Tirtha. I'll just show a quick movie. This is Nandiya Tirth. So this is the actual same location where actually Chanda Koshik snake. So you can see this is the exact location Bhagwan Mahavir was standing, and this is where Chanda Koshik snake was there. So this is a Tirtha in Rajasthan, Nandiya Tirth, and it's quite amazing to see that same. They've actually said that this is where the snake was, Chanda Koshik snake was, and here Bhagwan Mahavir ki murti hai, Nandiya Tirth hai. And so this is a temple. So all what you're trying to say is, oh Lord, you are like my Sati, you are my charioteer. जब आपको spiritual, so the essence means जब आपको spirituality चाहिए, Lord, you come to us. Another classic example is, look at us how lucky we are. This country here. If someone came in this country in the UK 60, 70, 80 years ago, did we actually have any spirituality here? No. There was no essence. People actually struggled. People even started resorting to eating non-veg food here because there was a problem here in those 70, 80 years ago. Can you even imagine right now that we are now so blessed to have Shamnijis over here? Who could have contemplated to have Jain nuns after 50, 60 years in our midst here? If we wanted to have Jain saints, we had to go to India. But now we are so fortunate enough that for us, for our future generations, that we've got a center like this, and then we've got Shamnijis who are Jain saints, and they are going to be imparting this level. So, जब हमका कर्म है, we don't have to work effort. हम भी automatically आ गए अभी. Like, so we didn't have to do any extra effort, but now Shamnijis are in our midst here. So Dhamma Sarahinam, हमको just charioteer चाहिए, तो charioteer is now within us. Dhamma Vara Chauranda Chakavartinam. Chakravati is a concept in Jain philosophy. Chakravati means Chakravati. Chakravati means absolute emperors. So there were certain Chakravatis who were like supposed to have they conquered all the regions of land and they become this universal moka, almost like Napoleon. So we are saying, oh Lord, you are the Chakravarti of the religion. Or Dhammavara Chauranta, Char Ant. So that what does the word mean? Char Ant. Char Ant means you have broken this concept of reincarnation in hellish beings, human beings, Devlok, and plant and animal kingdom. So all these चार हमारी गति है, ये चार गति का आपको अंत किया और आपका अभी चक्रवर्ती हो गया. धम्मवर चावरंत चक्रवर्तीनम. Appadiyavaranana dhansardharananam. What does that mean? Appadiyavaranana, you are holders of indestructible best knowledge and darshan and faith. Again, I'll just not. Vyeta chaumanam. So again, that means divide of incompleteness, imperfect knowledge. You do not have any of these imperfections here. Imperfections of health, knowledge, youth, respect. You are absolute. You are. आपका सब कुछ ये छोड़ दिया. Vyeta chaumanam. What does the word chaumanam comes? It comes on the word chadmast. And what does chadmast mean? Chadmast, we are all chadmast. Chadmast means wavering. We are not stable. Even Lord Bhagwan, when he was born, right from his birth until he took Diksha, there were still some flaws. Bhagwan had not got Keval Gnan. So no matter who the person is, we, our gurus, we are all chadmast. Essentially because we have not yet reached the ultimate level of perfection. So until you do not have the chadmast, there must be some minor flaws in all of us here. But only after you have removed this karmic and you got Keval Gnan and you then go into Sikshila, that's the time. So not even before Sikshila, after you got Keval Gnan, you have now removed all karmic baggage and now you are not chadmast anymore. So I think we're just finishing. Jinanam Javayanam, Tinnanam Taryanam, Buddhanam Boyanam, Uttanam Moganam. What it seems is, Jinanam, you became victorious and then you're making others victorious. Tinnanam Taryanam, Tinnanam means star. You swam across this sansar. You swam across it, so you first did it yourself, and after you did it yourself, you are now helping us to swim across this sansar, cycle of birth and death. Buddhanam Bohayanam, you first got to intellect, you refined to the state that you got Keval Gnan, and now you are helping us to get to that stage. Muttanam Moganam. Muttanam means you got your mark first, and then you're helping us to get the mark. Sabbanunam Savadarisinam. You are knowers of everything and of and darshan. Shiva Maila Moro Mananta Makai Mahava Papuna Siddhika Nam Dem Thanam Sampatam Namojanam. I'll just take a little bit of explanation. This is quite interesting to understand here. That these are all these adjectives describing the Lord. Shiva, Mayala, Maruva, Mananta. But if you actually look at how the words are, Shiva, Mayala. So if you went into the Sanskrit dictionary, we'll actually find Mayal. Mayal is not actually a word. If you look at English grammar, you have got monkey and then the plural is monkeys. But if you have money, then the plural is monies. I-E-S. It's not M-O-N-E-Y-S, monies. And so therefore there are certain nuances of the English grammar which says that this is the rules of English language. Similarly in Sanskrit, I'm not an expert, but from what I've read, when you've got different Shiva, Achal, if you want to join these two words together, this ends in A, this begins with A, so the rule or the grammar of Sanskrit will mean that you cannot have Shiva, Achal. So to join these two words, let's put an M here. So Shiva, Mayala, because Achala. So it ends in A and it begins with A. So because one word is ending in A and the other one is beginning in A, you are actually using that M as a joining word. So that's the reason why it says Shiva, Mayala, Maruva, Mananta. All of them begin with the letter Ma. Maruva, Mananta. But that if you went in the dictionary, you will not find a word. What is Manant? There is no word as Manant. The word is Anant. That M is just the joining between the Maruya and Mananta. So that's kind of the joining word. And all these words, Shiva, Mayala, Shiva means no karma, Achal. उसका माइंड बहुत चंचल है. चंचल means wavering. So उसका opposite है अचल, no instability. Shiva Mayala Maruva, no body, no diseases. Aru, Anand, infinite, Akshay, Avyabad, free from problems, disturbance, Apunaraviti, a point of no return. You've now reached Siddhashila, from which you are not going to return back to earth. Namo Jinam Jiyabayanam. So now we are saying, oh Lord, I'm bowing down to you, and who has conquered the fear. So this is the last one saying, Jaya Aya Siddha. All the Siddha Bhagwans of the past, Jaya Bhavisanti. Bhavisha means future. All the Siddha Bhagwans of the future, Sampaya Vattamana. All the Siddhas of the present moment, Subway, TV and Mandami. To all of them, I'm bowing down with profound essence. Again, what I'm trying to say here is that this small action, we are acting very locally. But uska profound kitna hai? I'm bowing down to all the Siddha Bhagwans of the past, the present, the future. The simple veneration of us right now has got a huge, magnificent impact. Okay, so Maram, so sorry for running over. So hope you all understood and enjoyed. Yeah, Maram.
Any questions? Any questions?
Any questions?
No, it is very informative and very detailed.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good. Can we have this presentation also?
I bow down to Joyce the Thinker, Acharya Masham, brothers and sisters. First of all, it was quite inspiring and detailed work which I was really impressed. Rajeev,
Thank you.
Om Maram.
Om
Thank you, Dinesh Bhai, as well for lovely meditation and quite interesting. And I didn't know what Namuthunam means, and it was an eye opener for me as well. And I hope you all guys enjoyed. Thank you again, Rajeev. Om Maram. Some information: we have got this shibir, so those who have not registered, please register so that we know the numbers in the coaches. And Bansi has arranged this hotel near the center, so if anybody wants to book, the cut-off date is 20th. After that, you'll have to stay in the center where it's a basic accommodation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajeev.
Rajeev, your analogies are very good.
Thank you.
Very easy to put
Yeah, it's like
Very, thank you.
Nice presented
Yeah.
pictures and
Like
everything.
the way you said Namo password and the zero in your service.
The best is the ITI plus
IT plus
ITI.
Yeah, I think that's IT.
Yeah, we never knew that.
Rajeev,
Two.
Rajeev is in fact, he has passed the masters.
That's right.
Thank you.
Did you create this yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's excellent.